Families, the elderly and infirm, form endless lines around food banks and soup kitchens in every Israeli city seeking the basic foodstuff necessary for the holiday. There's a 60% rise in the number of persons seeking help compared to last year.
As Israelis are shopping and preparing for the holidays, there will be thousands of families that are living below the poverty line that will not be able to put food on their tables. Vision for Israel and the Joseph Storehouse provide basic food supplies and household items on a weekly basis to provide for those needy families.
Save your people, Lord, and bless your inheritance. Shepherd and lead them forever lasting, and save your people, Israel. Shepherd and lead them.
A quarter of the population lives below the poverty line. Many of them are suffering from hunger and lack of good nutrition.
Nearly 25% of Israel's residents and 36% of its children live in impoverished families. It's not just the unemployed. Even families with two breadwinners find it impossible to make ends meet.
יש לנו 5 ילדים.
We have 5 children ranging in age between 1.5 and 14 years of age. My husband Yuval and I both work. Even with 2 salaries, we can't make ends meet. The rent takes 1 entire salary, and we can't afford a mortgage. The municipal rates, electricity, household bills, and basic groceries take all the rest. I've been unable to buy clothing for the children in several years. The government does not provide enough assistance, and it's only thanks to the Joseph Storehouse that our children get clothing and toys.
The greater the need, the greater the effort by Vision for Israel and the Joseph Storehouse. And the most hurting community in Israel worthy of help is the southern town of Sderot, for years a target of Hamas terrorist rockets.
A lot of factory was closed, and a lot of families becoming needed. And they need food, they need shelter, they need a lot of expense. And so why it's very important that people coming here and help us to bring the welfare to our society.
In coordination with the Sderot Social Welfare Department, Vision for Israel and the Joseph Storehouse distribute financial assistance to hundreds of needy families according to family size. These recipients face unemployment or underemployment with large families to feed. A recurrent problem is debt. Bank loans are made to cover mounting overdraft and interest payments. It's a vicious cycle faced by many in Sderot. What a cutie! What a cute girl!
כל המלגה שלי הולכת לחובות. לקחתי הלוואות בשביל...
All of my retirement money goes to cover my debt payments. I took out loans to raise my family. I worked for the Israeli military for 17 years in Gaza and 7 years at Ophira in Sinai. My daughter was my commander in the army, which gave me a listing in the Guinness Book of Records. Actually, 9 of my daughters served in the army. I'm left with 2,800 shekels per month in hand, but it all goes quickly.
Vision for Israel assists families with food, clothing, household supplies, bedding, children's toys, and financial help. Aid also goes to the Sderot Social Services Department for special projects. These social assistance programs go to Sderot and wherever it is needed throughout the country.
The donor can help with providing money for a project here, like in project of youth department and welfare department, and a lot of educational and treatment program in Sderot and in the area.
גם אנשים נכים שלא יכולים...
There are handicapped people who can't find proper jobs. Their welfare payments are an insult, not enough to get by. I have a handicapped friend whose medicines cost more than the welfare payment. She has to use what little money she scrapes together to pay for medicines, and has nothing left over for anything else. It's non-profit organizations like the Joseph Storehouse that fill in the gap.
Needs are assessed jointly with social workers and through personal contacts visiting families in their homes. Through these relationships, one family's surplus can meet another's needs through the Joseph Storehouse. This Sderot family donated an entire children's library, and the very next day, this Jerusalem family, unable to pay for their children's extracurricular education, gladly received the books. What a beautiful story it is when a recipient of aid from Vision for Israel and the Joseph Storehouse in turn gave us books in order to bless another family in need. So what do you think here? What's down there? A proverb says, better is a neighbor nearby than a brother far away. Let's be good neighbors.
We at Vision for Israel and the Joseph Storehouse want to embrace those families that are lacking the basic food supplies simply because they are out of work or they're unable to provide for their homes because of other reasons. We just want to touch their lives and make a difference for the good.